Hi everyone and welcome to your guidance for the week of January 24th, 2022. This week, at least from an astrological perspective, is pretty important for the shorter term future and also pretty tense because both Mercury and Venus retrograde are starting to slow down to a standstill at the same time. So that kind of means that we are inclined and also invited by inner forces to try and figure out everything that was basically our own personal retrograde subject. So what it is that we truly love and desire, and Mercury how to get there, everything that we had to reevaluate. And at the same time, this might be an important week because we get a different kind of reflection or understanding or perhaps a continuation or of whatever it is that we left around winter, December, Christmas time last year. So this is also a week of reflection. But it is exactly that reflection that might be a little bit blocked, a little bit still very uncertain or disturbed by whatever is going on out there in the world, because on the world stage, collectively speaking, in purely external reality, well, things are not gonna be very pretty. A lot of tensions, a lot of insecurities, especially that which has to do with our stability. So even if we might have a pretty good idea, a plan, a breakthrough, anything to get us there personally, if the world out there is so chaotic, then we must also take that into consideration. What chances do we have, when and where, and regardless of how masterful we are, regardless of how really, really good our plan is, or for some people they're already executing, they're in the middle of their big work, of their big accomplishment, they know that it's getting them there. But if everything outside is blocked suddenly, that also influences us. So the first part of this guidance is simple. Whatever is going on out there is meant to be that way, but we must not allow that to cause us worry, to cause us fear, to cause us anxiety. It is much better right now to truly focus on that which is important for us, that which we're working on. Mars just entering Capricorn, it will be a period of work, and that period starts actually today, right now. And of course, we might not have all of the resources, all of the connections, everything that we might need to start work seriously, but that leaves us in a state of preparation when we focus on it, when we internally put all our attention on everything that we need to have a breakthrough with or progress with. Especially in this period, it helps a lot. So the universe is guiding us to do exactly that. Input, effort, energy, work, focus, make that phone call, start, executing our plans in the degree that it's possible, in the measure that it's possible and it makes sense. And where we cannot take a certain kind of action right now, the simple fact that we are preparing, that we're planting seeds of intention using our Mars spiritually and psychologically, that is gonna be a great, great help. And basically we just mobilize energies in our lives, and those energies are of material nature right now. So anything that has to do with worth, with this desire or need to have greater stability, greater prosperity in our lives, or dynamism, mobility in our projects and purposes, etc. All of that is greatly encouraged to be focused on in any way, shape, or form. Purely psychologically, we ambition ourselves to do that. We get in the vibes to do that. Because if we are in totally dreamy vibes every day, every moment in our daily lives, and the desire to achieve, the desire to accomplish something is just, a faint dream, we are not gonna get anything done. So right now we have to get out from the dream and get into 3D stuff. And the spiritual empowerment has to match the same frequency. So we have to turn it from simple desire, from dream and aspiration, into pure ambition that this is what we need to do, this is what we need to embody. And even, as I said, if we cannot take a practical step right now because of circumstances, the attitude is what we can do and we can influence. So today we have the 10 of coins, the 4 of coins, the 9 of wands reversed, and the Ace of cups, and this is so very symbolic and suggestive. The 10 of coins represents our material stability, everything in our lives that needs to be stable, that needs to be prosperous, that needs to give us a chance to work, to live, to express ourselves, and at the same time to invest in our futures. So basically most of us, that is exactly what we need. To have resources or a reliable, stable income right now so that we can start, as we head into the middle of 2022, investing in our futures. Because they know what they say, money has to make money. And this can be interpreted in every way, shape or form, not just literally. Our actions and the energy and resources that we invest into our material lives have to offer us a fruition, so to speak, a fertility. They have to produce something themselves. And we have this 4 of coins, which is a very good symbol of our self-worth, of our value, but more professionally, more materially out there. And if we translate it into a psychological energy, that means that we need to find all the reasons and all the inner motivations why we deserve, let's say, professional power, professional notoriety, an easy and basically good life where we can basically embrace the pleasure of the senses. In other words, everything that we deserve. If we find all the inner reasons, regardless of what that is, well, we just help this energy build itself up in our material lives, in physical reality. We start attracting the material, the physical, the down-to-earth expression of value and worth turned inward. So yes, in one way, we do make ourselves, especially at this time, the center of our own universe, the core of everything in our lives, the most important person in our life stories, as I said, right now, because that is the best possible attitude, and that is how we can truly harness the conversations, the blessing of the conversations that is taking place in the sky right now. And the 4 of coins, especially in Rider-Waite Tarot, well, it depicts Midas, or Midas, depending on how you want to pronounce it, the king who had the golden touch. Everything that he touched turned into gold. So we need to use the higher octave of his symbolism, because the lower octave is obvious, greed and gluttony and, the symbolism of mammon. But the higher octave is that because we are valuable, because we just know how good we are, how deserving we are, of course based on profound self-knowledge, not delusion, everything that we project this inner beauty, this inner value, this inner deserving onto, well, it will reflect that. Our attitudes and our inner psychological processes matter a lot at this time. So we need to embody this 4 of coins in any way, shape or form that we can. And one of the best ways is how we speak about ourselves, how we present ourselves in conversations, or when we need to introduce ourselves, let's say at a job interview or any kind of project talk or discussion on anything financial or professional in nature, where we need to have another to, let's say, sign a contract with or anything like that, or maybe a client, a customer, whatever. The way we speak about ourselves, if we dress our self-image up in genuine self-respect, in genuine self-love, and appreciation of that which we are offering, that will have a massive impact on the mindset of the other person and how they will perceive us, especially in the most subtle ways. So basically right now, as I said, if you have something very practical in your life going on and that you can invest your energy and effort into, do it with maximum passion, with love, and just that trusting of yourself, of your skills, trusting of the person you have become in any way, shape, or forms. Infuse your work, infuse your every single action, regardless of what you do, even if it's maybe not a necessarily professional action, even if you're just cooking dinner, even if you're taking any single action, infuse it with your passion, infuse it with your love, infuse it with your creative energies, because that will get you a long way. This earth energy, this coin's energy, can also represent physical health. So the example of what I've given earlier, if you cook your food with that self-love, you make it much, much more nourishing. Your body will actually take the very, very best of it. And it is profoundly healing to you and, of course, who you share it with. This is just a very simple example of how infusing everything with the sheer power of your intent right now, and of course self-love and self-worth, can do miracles. So imagine bigger things like, as I said, negotiation, contracts, your hobbies, your creative work, that which you do as expression of your inner creativity. Because this is the moment when things that we touch symbolically turn into gold. Even if we may not see it right now, chances are the gold is gonna reflect back to us very, very quickly, because that is the nature of an exalted Mars in Capricorn, and the Four of Coins is the symbol of Capricorn. But there is another guidance, this Nine of Wands, and that tells us that we have to make it easy for ourselves. This isn't the kind of investing into our creativity, work, whatever that we desire to accomplish, in a way where it comes as self-flagellation, forcing ourselves, being our own slave drivers, because at this time that is self-defeating. There has to be passion, there has to be love, because when those two are combined, they give the energy of ease. That which we love is easy. That which we love is worth it. It's like a carrot on a stick. So we must also aim for easiness. Everything that we are trying to infuse with our golden touch, or we want to attract in our lives, it has to be in flow. It has to be easy. It has to come through us, on the path of least resistance. So we must also ready ourselves to receive in the now, and avoid those, let's say, modus operandi, how we execute things, that involve forcing something or being in opposition. This is where we have to choose the easiest and most, let's say, comfortable path, even if our activity is pretty hard right now. Even if it needs a lot of sacrifice, we can still find certain ways to make it easier, better, lighter, more fun, more enjoyable, or motivate ourselves, reward ourselves. There is a way to make this Nine of Wands reversed its most favorable expression, which means inner resourcefulness, but that which pops out from us like a volcano of creativity. Because otherwise, if we do it the old-fashioned way, just let's go and do it and force ourselves and not give ourselves any moment of respite, then it will lead to a burnout. It will lead to an oversaturation. So we need to stay pretty much in balance. Also, this Nine of Wands reverse represents that you might get in your life this week certain, let's say, patterns which kind of hurt you or wounded you in the past, especially professionally speaking, or regarding your creativity. Maybe people will ask from you to perform a kind of work or service, or to go and sort out certain things regarding your job, etc., which really tired you out a lot, so much so that it led to a wounding in the past. Because there is activity related to our jobs, to our livelihood, or to our everyday activities which are uncomfortable to us, because there was a point in our lives when that kind of let us down, the excess of that hurt us. So these patterns might return in our lives this week, but we must make sure not to fear them. Just simply face them with courage and ambition and this inner excitedness, that it will not lead to burnout, that it will not take away our good mood and this inner ambition to invest our intent, regardless of what it is, because we are also taking care of ourselves. And finally, the Ace of Cups, all of this is blessed. All of this, whatever goes on in this week in our lives, if we truly have this attitude of the survivor, but as I said, this is the good kind of survivor, not, surviving like insects and rats just crawling, surviving with our health head up high. So making sure that our inner sun radiates through, and it is an attitude of dignity and feeling honored because we honor ourselves and we know our true worth. So this can turn into a massive blessing to sheer soul food, especially when we start seeing that things are coming together, and effortlessly even, with the condition that we allow those to reach us in the path of least resistance. And least resistance does also represent our inner demon, so to speak, because least resistance does tend to make us a little bit way too comfortable, a little bit indulgent and lazy, so we must make sure we hold the balance. So for anyone out there searching for a job, for a new lucrative new business opportunity, new clients, new customers, something new to do, or a new way, an innovative way to execute that which they're already doing, which they have already started, or any kind of artistic work, this might be a really, really good week. So the universe is telling us to focus on it, concentrate on it, have this attitude and embody our self-worth, and naturally not allow the instability and the opposite of this, that which is going on in the world, to scare us this time, because we need to stay very, very strong on our paths. And as I said, this week we need to be, like it or not, center of our own universe and the most important person for at least ourselves alive right now. Because when we are extremely important to ourselves, and of course not in a narcissistic way, that means that we are also that important for the divine and all the karmic forces. Because from a spiritual perspective, if we talk ourselves into not being important, always in the shadows, always on second place, always someone comes first, well, then we force the universe to do this as well. Of course, there is a time and place in life for this, to be in the shadow, to be on second place, to allow someone else to shine, but not right now, because if we do that right now, we go against the astrological empowerment and we just turn ourselves into, just a shadow. This week we have to be King Midas and touch everything so that it can turn into gold. If we can, literally, by doing the activity, by being in it, by being there, by going, by taking action, especially creative-wise. Or if we cannot do that right now because of circumstances, the attitude and the way we speak about ourselves and the way we present ourselves will definitely lead to that big pot of gold. So this is the guidance for today. Thank you so much for being here and listening. Wish everyone a blessed and truly prosperous week. Until next time, bye for now.